Won't you lock me in your heart?
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Pam and Tommy, Season 1, Episode 7.
Destroyer of Worlds.
Because he did misquote that. Didn't he botch it?
I don't know.
I think he botched it.
He said, I am become death, destroyer of worlds. That's correct.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I am become, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's like the grammar is modern, not accurate, but I think that's the actual.
I just thought it was I am death, the destroyer of worlds. I didn't.
No, because it's like I have become.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Then I'm ignorant.
You're ignorant.
All things considered, I still really enjoy the show.
Yeah.
I'm still having a good time. I can kind of tell that we're winding down.
Yeah.
It was front loaded with a lot of its morals and messages and methods. So
Well, we're just kind of retreading them all now.
I don't even know that I would go as far as to say retreading, but it's sort of it not unlike American Crime Story impeachment. We're just sort of heading to the inevitable conclusion.
Although with only one episode left, I don't know how we're going to get to I think there's just going to be word cards at the end that are like, Pam and Tommy won an undisclosed settlement, after the fact.
Well,
I don't think Rand and Milty are going to get their comeuppance.
I don't know that we'll see it depicted in
Yeah.
an exciting courtroom scene.
Yeah.
But I think they do.
Well, I know they do. I just don't think we're going to see that.
All of that is to say that we don't have many hot takes. I'm assuming you don't have many hot takes about this episode in particular.
Not a ton, no.
We followed the rest of her press tour. Have we found out if Gail's real?
I don't know. I mean, she has to have had a publicist.
Yeah, I like her a lot.
Yeah.
I like Gail seems a little bit ahead of her time.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the energy. We said the similar thing about Taylor Schilling.
Yeah. I also love that Gail didn't drop her as a client. She's still there. She's still doing this.
She's also still a huge star.
She's also still a huge star. And apparently barbed wire sucks, but...
Okay, well, so we said
We'll
a similar thing about Taylor Schilling, where it is a nice and necessary female perspective.
An additional female, because we're old friends with Pam. I get Pam, but yeah,
I kind of want to watch Barbed Wire. I have seen it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I told you that we were at cousin's house one time and we were well into the movie when our uncle was like, "Can you guys watch this?" And we were just like, "Yep."
Sure.
I don't remember hardly anything about it other than bust. And then there's a crane. I think there's a battle on a crane maybe at the end. But I kind of, especially given the show, I'm going to watch it. Maybe I'll pre-watch it and decide whether I think we should watch it and talk about it.
Okay.
Because it could also be, I think it's a camp classic. I just don't know if it's...
Okay, that's what I was curious about. Because I was like, is there anything redeeming about it? Because
I think my fear is that it's too one note to be properly
a camp
classic.
Okay.
No
one's going crazy.
I don't think so, because it's really...
she's not pulling an... Oh, it's gone. Showgirls is gone. Yeah, nobody's pulling an Elizabeth Berkley. Maybe.
Yeah, so...
With the chips and the ketchup and that stuff's all fucking insane. And so that's what
Sure.
that's the thing.
Different places!
Ketchup. Because that's the thing about that scene especially, is that it's Molly's reaction to the ketchup that explodes out of the bottle.
Well, and furthermore, after that outburst, Molly's like, "Okay,
you can live
with me."
Okay, this is not about Showgirls.
So let us know if you want us to watch and cover Barbed Wire. I'm probably going to do it just because.
Just for fun.
I was hoping it was going to fall into the Starship Troopers type, but Starship Troopers actually is fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, Starship Troopers also actually has a message.
It's commentary.
It's like a hardcore satire.
It was ahead of its time, or behind,
Both.
depending on which war.
It can be both. Two things can be true.
But so we did depict the rest of the press tour. And that's one of my favorite things about, if there's two things that I really love about what the show has said about Pam, the first is that she's actually very sweet.
Yep.
She's a sweet person and a hot lady body. And the second is that she's good at what she does.
She's also very savvy.
She can handle the press well. And
she's been handling asshole men her literal entire life.
So the Jay Leno, because that's one of 3 or 4 plots in this episode, is the culmination of the Jay Leno arc, which frankly I'm a little surprised the show didn't hit harder. But apparently that is a combination of 2, possibly 3 interviews.
Okay.
And their varying degrees of availability.
Okay.
Apparently her issue was that she considered Jay a personal friend. And he really jumped on the cheap bandwagon. And she called him out like a year later as being mean to her and betraying their friendship. And he tried to play coy. And she was like, which I mean, she put him on the spot, but rightfully so.
Like he didn't put her on the spot?
It's expected for him at the time. This isn't me coming out.
No, I know. I hate it.
It's also, the time's different.
They shouldn't have done so many close-ups because they did a worse job on him this time.
It's a person. It's a person.
Fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But he tried to play coy, and she was like, actually, Tommy's been recording the show. And so she brought a montage of like all the times he talked about them.
Oh my God. Amazing. Check box 1 for Tommy Lee.
And she does it all in good fun, because I think the show depicts things a little bit more pointedly.
Yeah.
It's certainly going for the subtext, directed again by Lake Bell.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that's a little bit of context there.
And then Tommy is trying to beat him up. When she laid into him, she was like, the next 2 days are not about you. And that includes beating up Jay Leno. You can't do that. It's going to make my life harder. Get out of here.
And she was smart enough to send him away.
Yeah, she was like, I'm going to the hotel tonight. You go home.
And also he did.
He did. He definitely did.
I mean, varying degrees of follow through on his part. But this episode, we did pick back up with both Rand and Milty. Jesus fucking Christ.
That's just okay.
I know he's meant to be unlikable, but
yeah, but okay. So it's been months now, like at least 5 months. I feel that even if I were the type of person who wanted to go to Amsterdam and do nothing
to partake in drugs and whores,
do nothing but rails of coke and railing prostitutes, I still think I would be so tired of that after 5 months.
Certainly dehydrated.
That's so many months to be doing like exclusively that. Like he's not even like, he didn't even go to like the Van Gogh Museum. You know
that we've
seen. I doubt it. I super doubt it.
I mean, plenty of people, in particular the 90s, dedicated their lives to it. So I suppose it is like, accomplishable. But
how does he still have a nose? Or a penis.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean,
just smooth.
Just smooth here, smooth there. Just nothing, no extremities.
No, I mean, it's pretty awful. So the biggest question, and I'll ask you, obviously, and then I'll chime in. Do we feel sympathy, empathy for Rand?
Like 1 ounce.
Okay.
For me. I feel like 1 ounce of sympathy because he did a horrible thing. And especially like we get the scene with Tommy where he's like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I'm a bad person. That's fine. But like, look what you did to Pam. Like this, it didn't backfire on me.
Well, he was like, is she?
But she's not a bad person.
And you can see Rand kind of being like,
yeah,
this isn't about her. And it's like,
but it is. And that's the thing that like even Tommy has realized that it is about Pam because this is after the judge has basically made it so that they can put the pictures in Penthouse.
He ruled in favor of Penthouse. I mean, I guess I get it, but but in that case, Pam was correct. They shouldn't have done anything.
Yeah. Which she says to the lawyer. She's like, we did this. It happened exactly the way I told you it was going to, and I'm not listening to you anymore.
Well, she was like, I knew we'd end up here, and yet I still let you do this because it's like, effectively, if you're not watching the show or not following the show, the judge ruled that Penthouse could publish pictures from the video because the video was newsworthy. Mm-hmm. But what made it newsworthy,
which was freedom of speech,
was Pam and Tommy engaging in the legal battle is what sort of made it news. Yeah. And so it's a kind of a
and the way that she presented her argument where she was like, they have made this into a First Amendment issue because they can't just come out and say Pam Anderson is a slut and she has posed nude for Playboy. And so therefore she has no rights to her own body.
I was saying this last week. It's very gotcha.
Yeah.
So many people are trying to catch her with her hand in the cookie jar. And it's like, she's not.
She's like, I made these cookies, bitch.
It's that like powerful thing that they say about women. Like when women have power, it's like, where did she get it from?
Yeah.
Like, who did she take it from?
Your mom. So to go back to Rand, I do have like 1 ounce of sympathy for him but only because now Milty left him high and dry, and he owes 50 grand to Andrew Dice Clay.
So I have a few elements of sympathy for him, and I've told this story before. It's a short personal story, but I remember being in like second grade, and some kid was bullying me or something, and I got mad and pouted and like went and sat on the wall. And one of my teachers came over, and she was talking to me about how she said something about like, so are you just going to sit here and pout the whole time? Or are you going to go do something else during recess? And I was incensed because I was like, how can she not see that I'm the victim here?
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I mean, yes, sometimes that is the case, and sometimes justice needs to be brought out. But other times you have to take those lemons and make lemonade. Yeah. And it stuck with me my entire life. And that's sort of what I get from Rand is I bet that he has had plenty of cars take his green light. Mm-hmm. But also at a certain time, if that's the mentality you're bringing to your day-to-day life,
you're becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy.
And so that's where I get with him. And I genuinely...
You're just letting the world fuck you. If you wake up every morning and you're like, the world's going to fuck me today, then yeah, it probably is.
Or I mean, at a certain point, you're just preemptively not going.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, well, when's it going to be my turn? And people are like, okay, well, this guy's not going, so I'm just going to.
Yeah.
And so I very much believe that he got screwed over a lot, or things like, and this is why I keep talking about the 90s of it all, because, you know, I do think society has been very heavily evolving. Mm-hmm. I think we've grown a lot. I think we've evolved a lot. I think we're still very much in the process of that. And I genuinely think Pam was an afterthought to him.
Oh, 100%.
In ways that there are people sort of purposefully devaluing her from almost like a malicious place.
Oh, his was not malicious.
His was just pure ignorance.
Rand was just like, this is Tommy Lee's dick. I'm going to put it out for public consumption.
One, furthermore, she just existed in a sex object space to him. She was an object in that regard. And I think that's when Tommy Lee of all people is like, did you ever consider her? And he was, I think it was the 1-2 punch of the conversation with Erica and Tommy Lee where he was like, yeah, I mean, no, but what does that matter? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because the Erica stuff feels feels dramatized. It feels a little on the nose for me. However, it's a valid perspective.
It's super valid. And I loved her and her girlfriend talking about how much they thought the tape was sweet. and apparently the really interesting filmmaking decisions that Pam made, which again, I love. I think it's super fun.
It's accurate.
And she was like, you know,
there's a moment of climax.
And she's like, and she focuses the camera, and Rand is like, yeah, on his dick, proving that he didn't watch the whole video before he decided to do this. So he didn't even have any context for what he was doing besides sex. And then she's like, no, on his face. So you see his cum face. And it just was like, she was like, it's so, and then she just lingers, like the shot just lingers. And I was like, it's so funny, but it's so true, because this was not for you. This was for them. And like, let's be totally frank. I don't really know, because I've never done it. If anybody's made a sex tape, I'm very curious. How often do you go back and watch it yourselves? Because they locked it away in that safe. How often do you really think they were going to watch this?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like I said, that like 2 episodes ago, they were talking about it, like
showing it to the kids,
like hanging it in a museum. But
I don't know how often I would watch my own sex tape. Like, I feel like you just make it to make it.
Well, what's the is it Happy Endings where she films them recording, and then she I think it's Dave. I think he's dating a girl. Oh, and then she uses it like tips. As like Monday morning, like play by play. And then she brings out other guys and she's like, now watch this. Yeah. We need to incorporate this.
That is Happy Endings. Yeah.
And not for nothing, I keep coming back to this thing that it's like, considering that this is being sold as their porn, it's like, this is a married couple attempting to conceive a child.
Yeah, I know. Like, what?
Like, it's actually very conservative.
It really
Do you know what I mean? Like...
A tasteful blowjob, some missionary sex? What are we talking about here?
And so that's the thing that kind of gets me. It's just sort of like it everybody is sort of like judging and shaming them, and it's like
they're doing what your whole platform is about.
So
having married missionary sex? Come on. That's your whole deal.
Also, I did love when Erica finally finds out and that she is just furious because there are people, the adult industry, sex work, the adult film industry, yada, yada. There are levels, there are layers and stuff. And there are entire groups of people who take it seriously and professionally.
Yeah.
And it is fully believable that someone, particularly a woman, would be like,
Yeah. Well, she's like, we sign releases to do porn because that's what he calls it, porn. And she was like, it's not porn. It's absolutely not porn.
Well, and a lot of people, they have things they will and won't do, and they have like conditions and stuff. And it's just very, it's, I have appreciated the elements of that this show has trafficked in, traded in. It hasn't been an opus about that, but we're still insisting that Freddie, I keep forgetting the character name he plays.
Yeah.
Freddie Heischinger.
Yeah, I don't really know why he's still there either.
He's the webcam guy in Seattle.
Yeah, but I don't know what.
I'm guessing he's going to come in at the end.
I mean, maybe.
Because he was trying to kick it into high gear somehow.
Yeah, they like need something new.
And I'm like, well, we've already had it.
Seth.
We've already had it on the internet. So I'm sort of like, I mean, is he just going to put it?
Well, the whole video is not on the internet. You have to go to the website to buy the tape.
Oh, so he's just going to put the whole thing on.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a little anticlimactic, but we had Butchie Pirano, Andrew Dice Clay back. Yeah. Good use of Andrew Dice Clay.
I do not want to eat a cherry that has been soaked in vodka and Fernet Branca. Thank you.
What is Fernet Branca?
It's like licorice. You would really like it, but with a maraschino cherry. I like Fernet by itself, or like Fernet with like soda water, but with vodka and a maraschino cherry sounds disgusting.
And he had like 7 of them.
He did make him just like shotgun like 7 of them in a row.
But it's like since Milty's gone, he's like really pushing on Rand to get the money, and Rand is just so out of his league.
He's so out of his league. Also, people are not still buying the tape from him because it's been bootlegged everywhere, which was really, I feel like, a failing of long-term thinking on Rand and
That's
Milty's
also where
part.
this has not really happened before, though.
No, but I just sort of...
Because there were also there are a handful of other celebrity sex tapes before this, but they weren't so available and so massive. Because it's like Rob Lowe.
I was going to say, and Robert Downey Jr.
Brett, I don't think he did. Brett Michaels did.
Colin Farrell's was a few years later.
Oh, yeah, that was 2004.
Yeah. Was it 2004? I thought it was the late 90s.
His head shaved for Daredevil.
Okay, so yeah, 2004.
That one I've seen. Breakfast, lunch, and fucking dinner.
Does he say that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so he's making Rand beat people up. I don't know.
So because he can't get the money and Tommy Lee burned $27,000 in front of him, which I think is so funny.
So funny. It is somehow peak Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
Total chaos, gross, but also kind of amazing.
No, it's
he was
like
this
real power move.
He was like, this one's for the gods.
Yeah.
Because Rand tried to play him with the karma.
Yeah.
This is karma. And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
And called his bluff.
Well, Tommy Lee doesn't need $27,000 in this moment right now. He's doing good.
But also, again, according to Rand's reasoning, he's like,
Yeah. It was actually pretty amazing. So basically what he's doing is, because he can't get the money and like the sales are stagnant, at least, he basically is making him go after other people that owe him money until he's like satisfied. But Rand is bad at it. He can't do it.
Yeah. So I think that's it. We have one more episode, like we mentioned.
Yep.
And then I guess we'll see them at the Emmys.
Yeah, 100%. Like for makeup at the very least.
I finally see Lily. It took me a minute,
Yeah.
but I can see her now. I was only seeing Pam at first.
For like the first 3 episodes, it was only Pam for me too.
But so, okay, cool. Well, please like and subscribe, patron, support, comment, YouTube, pro action, all of that stuff. Thank you, patrons.
Yes.
Thank you, friends and family and fans. And follow us, and goodbye.
Bye.